Thank you for the presentation and the introduction. Thank you all for being here today. We're really excited to be here again for the third consecutive years here at Astricom, so big events and conference. We will have the presentation together today, so it's really my pleasure to be here with my colleague Giuseppe. I'm Diego, I'm the Managing Director of Asterisk. And well, before starting our presentation, let me ask you a couple of questions, if you don't mind. First of all, how many of you guys have ever configured an Asterisk IVR, also a basic one? OK, so some of you, this is good. And about Respoke, how many of you have played with Respoke, especially with IVR? OK, the Respoke team is fine. Thank you for being here today. Yeah, this is exactly what we are going to try to provide you as an overview today. We will provide you some overview about IVR configuration combined with the Respoke service. And we will focus for customer care, or if you prefer, call center application to do that. Let me just show you a couple of slides about who we are for people who doesn't know about us. We are an Italian company. We build call center applications. We have a product which is called Asterisk. Is now provided on more than 30 countries around the world. It's provided and used by more than 60,000 agents. And OK, it's multi-language. We just added a new language last week to the package. It's very, very easy to configure and to add also new languages. Here it is, our team. I really like to thank all our proud team for the daily job they do very well. What we try to do with Asterisk is to provide something very simple and very powerful to configure in terms of user experience, both on the supervisor call center team and the agent side. Let's now move to the topic about this section. I will start with an example of traditional, let me say, legacy interactive voice responder. What a simple experience we often can see, especially in the call center world. And let me introduce you Joe. Joe is a web visitor. Actually, Joe uses e-commerce almost for everything in order to order everything from food to clothes to manage electronic equipment. So he's really a fan about e-commerce. And well, today Joe would like just to have some piece of information about one of the last order he picked on one of his favorite e-commerce website. So he spotted the customer service toll-free number, or whatever it is, and he started to pick up the handset and dial, of course, the customer representative number. Okay, so it started to dial, and at the end of the call, he's presented with a nice IVR, something like press 1 to talk with the sales department, press 2 if you need the billing information, press whatever you want if you need some order information. And at the end of the IVR, is able to figure out to insert quite a complex, actually, order code inside the IVR. That brings Joe to the first issue during this IVR, which is, OK, first time Joe dialed a wrong digit, so he is asked to insert it again and again. And so Joe is getting a little bit nervous. But OK, at the end of the day, he is able to enter his order code. OK, time is running out, as you can see. But at the end, Joe is able to talk with a customer service representative. And guess what happens? OK, she asked him for, OK, please give me the order number. So you can imagine the Joe reaction. OK, so why the hell are you asking me the order number again if I spent many seconds, not to say minutes, during the IVR in order to provide you such information. So really, Joe is not experiencing a very good service. This is not what happens in all the call center, but often happens. Why? Well, the reason can be mainly two. First, as you can see, it's not very easy to provide complex information using just a dial pad on your headset. Just using DTMF, you can provide simple information, but what if you need to provide something like an order code information? Not to mention the fact that this order was a number, but what if the order is also something more complex, like it contains letters and so on? It can be a nightmare, okay? Second, and most important issue is that, this call center didn't provide a very good, probably CTI experience, a good computer telephony integration, so to try to identify a little bit about the history of this customer. Who is it? How about the order numbers he placed? Actually, the customer service representative was not able to engage any what is called the proactive experience, so to provide to the customer some proactive information before even starting to manage a call. So that brings us to what we have built as a proof of concept. Giuseppe will explain more in details using Respoke WebRTC service. Okay? So using the Respoke WebRTC, you can actually get in touch with a customer service representative using a web browser. Before showing you the demo, we have prepared a short video. Let me thank Elisa Smith, who provided us very professional IVR prompts, specifically for the WebRTC experience. And let's start this very short video to understand what we have tried to do. Here it is the recipe. Before starting the video, we used the Respoke service, a couple of good WebRTC browsers, both on desktop and mobile. We slightly modified some Chan Respoke libraries. Giuseppe will deal with it. And of course, Asterisk 13. And in this case, our IVR drag and drop solution, but in principle, you can set up any kind of IVR you want on Asterisk, of course. And finally, also a good CTI to provide value-added information to the agent. Okay, if I can start the video now. So this is an example of an e-commerce website, and Joy is trying now to contact the customer service. We have built here kind of visual IVR. So using different menu in this responsive interface, you can get in touch with different call center department. You can insert some order code and click on check your order. And right now, the call is starting through WebRTC, so pure WebRTC using Respoke, and will be routed to our IVR and then to the customer service representative. Same experience you can approach using, in this case, an Android device. We use Android with Google Chrome in this case. So you can insert here your order number, of course, which is a dynamic information, of course. And then we can route the call inside the IVR. But I don't know if... OK, you should listen something now. So the Alison prompts.
Welcome to your shop. You have inserted the order code AWD 56801. Thank you for calling our order management team. Please wait. Our agents will...
OK, so sorry to interrupt, but this is the experience through the IVR. OK, so we actually here we got the order code. We made a lookup inside an external CRM database or whatever you want, and we route the code. We route the calls inside a customer service queue you see above. And then the call is supposed
Be available.
to reach an agent, okay? Yeah,
Hello, Mr. White. I see you've placed an order for us. How can I help you?
So this is the agent interface in our case. We provided a pop-up to the agent. Since we were able to get such dynamic information like the order code, we made a lookup and we provided via the pop-up, you just see the order code information and the customer name. But you can provide more probably if you do some enhanced integration with some external CRM. So when we started this proof of concept, the challenge we had was how to provide not just voice to the call center agent, but value-added information, like such dynamic order code information. And so it's now a pleasure to me to hand over to Giuseppe, who will explain a little bit more about the code we modified, the architecture, and so on. Thank you all for being here. I will be able, after the presentation, to answer all your questions, and really appreciate your presence here today.
Hello, good morning, everybody. You can hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
My name is Giuseppe Innamorato. I'm the CTO of Xenialab and responsible for the Espoli project. Here with me, other than Diego, there is also Giuseppe Carreri, who is the guy who developed this proof of concept. And my presentation will be a little bit more technical. I will try to go in depth in what we did in the Respoke environment in order to reach what just you saw as a proof of concept. So, please, at the end of the presentation, feel free to ask a question to me or to my colleague, and we will be able also to speak with you around if you have more questions. Well, we start speaking about the logical architecture. Then you see that there is the customer, that is the Joe, and it is able to access to Respoke Cloud in such a way and speak with a Respoke client that we put on an Asterisk box. After that, throughout the IVR, a dynamic IVR, is able to reach the customer service representative. Let's call her Jane. This is the logical environment. If we go a little bit in depth, this is the blueprint, the big picture, and we go a little bit to understand which pieces are running on the client side. On the client side, we have an application, is HTML application base that runs JavaScript, and it uses a Respoke client library. The application was made with the Bootstrap framework, probably you know, that is able to give us the possibility to use the application both on a normal computer or an electronic device like a cell phone on the Android operating system. And the application speaks both with Respoke services, with the library of Respoke, and speaks with the public server where we put our application and where the HTTPD service is running. In order to have this, these are all the pieces that has to be considered, that we touch, we use, and we modify. I would like to point out the fact that is just an example, because we are using some tricks inside Respoke that are not really standard, but we are talking with the Respoke team in order to make this a standard. We will see that we are using, not in a proper way, a field, and in the next slide we will see this field. So, what do you need? First, you need a subscription to the Respoke services, of course. And then you will get whenever you create an app inside the Respoke services, an application ID and application secret. We are working a development application in this moment. Otherwise, if you do a standard application, you will need also a token. Then, whenever you have these two important pieces, I mean application ID and application secret, you can begin to use it. Well, this is the user interface of the application, and the application uses two important things. We use the Respoke Connect, and this is the trick. We are sending in the endpoint ID the order number that was put on by the customer in the field. In this field. So we send this as a connection, you see the application ID, to the Respoke services, and when the connection succeeds, it will be called the onConnect function, and then here in the endpoint ID, in this time, we will send the extent that is an information that is useful to Respoke to understand where to place the call. In order to do that, what we did was to modify the core of Respoke, in particular the file respoke session.c. And here, we are going to set an Asterisk standard channel variable and call it Respoke remote. In this variable, it will contain the field, the information that the user put on the user interface. From this point on, this information is available to the Asterisk. That means it's available to in the dial plan. And this is the flow, the trick. Here we have the configuration of Respoke. You have to notice that the application secret is something that is important. It's the field that you get when you create an application in the Respoke environment. And here you are telling to Respoke what to do when there is a call with this label. We say that the call must be placed from Respoke in the Asterisk environment. And here there is the piece of the dial plan that manages the call that is coming from the web interface, from the Respoke client. Here then we are just routing the call to the IVR. The IVR is going to make a lookup on the database, grab the information about the customer, and after that make some elaboration and put place the call in the queue. And whenever an agent is free, it will get all the information about the customer and so on. This is just an example of pop-up, but with this environment you can use a full CTI environment. I mean that is it possible instead to have only the pop-up to get also the page of your preferred CRM or custom application and have the history of the customer. That means that, for example, if you have also some logistic information, whenever you answer, the agent asks it to the customer, it can have all the information, where is the good, where is the, they are going to deliver in 5 minutes. Then this will improve the customer experience a lot. Just another information that is interesting in this experiment, in this proof of concept, other than populating a variable in the Asterisk environment, what we do is to fire an event inside the Asterisk manager interface. That means for those systems like ours that has a real-time environment to give you information in real-time basis, whenever an event comes, for example, from a call or there is a specific event, you can publish this event and your real-time system can grab this event and do what have to do. Then two things, we modify the rest Respoke.session.c in order to place a variable in the environment of Asterisk and fire an AMI event. This brings me to the end of my presentation, and what I want to point out is this building this kind of systems that have the focus on the customer experience give you also the possibility to benefits also for the agent. We have to think also about the agent that we have to provide the tools for working well and to give the best services to the customer. In this way, everything will be better both on the customer side and in the call center side. Here you can find all the things we did, and is obviously it's free. You can modify, you can send us a suggestion, and whatever you want. I would like to thank you, everybody, for your attention, and that's all. Thank you.
Would you like to say questions?
Yeah, sure. Any questions? Any suggestions? Yeah.
Hi. As is with WebRTC, one of the things you clearly pointed out was very specific web browsers.
Yeah.
That is a constant problem. Is that just something you reach out to customers and say, this is the experience, and unless you're using that browser, it's not going to happen? It's also the main reason that I feel that larger companies or smaller companies do not invest in it, just because the overhead is too much to maintain, sustain, and make a viable business out of it. How do you guys sustain and maintain?
Good question. So first of all, let me stress the point that this is a proof of concept, of course. So we are not selling anything here. We just did some experimental test. But first of all, I don't think that this is a replacement on what, of course, a standard legacy customer service can do. Okay, it's a new channel. Okay, it's something that you can add on top of your channel. We are talking more and more with our customers in terms of multi-channel capabilities. Okay, we didn't enter in that because it's not this session, but we are going to provide chat and multiple channels on that. So this is just for us a new possibility. Of course, there is a limitation of the browser. What we saw in the market right now is some assistant, some guide in order to say, okay, to the customer, no, you are using a not compatible browser now. I'm sorry, call our toll-free number or chat with us using this channel. This is something that is going to happen. On the other side, more and more browsers are getting compatible with WebRTC. So thinking of the big picture, this is for us a new possibility. It's not a replacement, but it is something interesting. Any more questions? Yeah.
Do you have any reference for performance, like how many customer, how many company?
In terms of volume?
Yes, that's right. Just some basic idea. Whether there's any impact on the potential deployment?
Yeah, one concern is about codec. So we need to consider that, of course, you can use Opus or other very compressed codec using WebRTC. But in case you use Asterisk, this is correct me if I am wrong, but not really available, so you need to use G711. So the main concern is about bandwidth. In terms of performance, we didn't experience anything special. I mean, we provide a call center solution for more than 500 positions in a single server with Asterisk without any special issues using such asynchronous technology. So this is a good question. We don't have a precise features about such kind of WebRTC. So far, we didn't experience many volume issues on that. Yeah.
Have you tried video capabilities of the Respoke platform?
Not yet. We tried something on the message, but not yet the video capability. So this is something that probably the Respoke team can add, and there is a Digium here, representative for the Respoke, so I think they can provide you some information about that.
I can talk with you after if you have a specific question, or what was your question about video with Respoke?
No, the question is if they tried a video call into their solution.
Okay.
Okay. Now we are going to test in the next weeks as well the video and see what happens with the soft phone with video, and we will see. But we didn't have the time for this demo to develop also the video.
One interesting thing we are really interested to do is to provide multi-channel, so voice, messaging, chat, and be able to switch among different channels. So it's not just about a simple video call, okay, probably it works, but how to provide to the agent some value information. For example, you are on video with an agent, and the agent would like to, or you are on a chat with an agent and you would like to escalate, on the same section with the video. That's the challenge we are going to test. So if there are any idea about it, any experience,
you can start easy chatting, and then you can scale to voice, and then maybe to video. It depends what you want to do. This is,
but that's definitely interesting. Yeah.
Welcome.
Any other questions? All right, guys, thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.